Start of a Super Sunday here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live, and we're starting here at Watkins Glen International for the latest race meeting of the IMSA Sportscar Series. We're under the lights of Daytona last week. We now head slightly north to New York and racing around the Watkins Glen boot layout today. The Daytona 24 Hours might have finished, but we've got an even split pretty much of Daytona prototypes, German GT3s, which include Audis, BMWs and Mercedes, and the rough C-Specs as well. Good afternoon, everybody. Adam Bath here with Alex Simpson, iRacing World Championship driver. And Alex, the Daytona 24 Hours might have finished, but the IMSA series continues to get ever popular.
Yeah, it does. Another, 3 splits today, so good. Good turnout, considering everything else that's going on right now as well. We've got Blancpain GT about to start. The Endurance Series, of course, final round of that. We had Daytona 24 just yesterday. That had its issues. But yeah, for the most part, the servers managed to stay connected. At least I think some people got dumped, unfortunately. But and then all the other regular sort of weekend series that are going on right now. So yeah, good to see this series going from strength to strength, and this has become the token time slot. And just want to actually a couple of questions that come in. I just want to point out that we are going to continue to do this time slot for the foreseeable future as well. So Apex TV are going to support the IMSA. And at least through 2017 anyway.
Watkins Glen then. How would you rate this circuit of all the tracks that we've got on iRacing at the moment?
Oh, I love this place. This is a great circuit. I don't really know what it was about this circuit, but I remember the first time I drove this was what was I? I was Class C, I think. I just got my C license, jumped into the IndyCar Fixed series, and it happened to be at Watkins. And of course, I'd come from like the Skippy or something like that, and it was just so fast. I just loved the car around here, loved the circuit. What a great flow it had. Classic boot circuit though, so no rubbish chicane like we've got today. But it was this is a fantastic circuit. Good chance for overtakes in a couple of places as well. Good hard battling always goes on around here as well. And I tell you what, we're going to have a treat here. I think 3 separate classes. They're all going to have a lot of fun around here.
To be fair, it's been a while since I've seen a race with the chicane included. I know many of the BSR series that we run here on Apex, or that we cover here on Apex Racing TV, didn't use the bus stop chicane, which is just at the end of the long back straight. With all the corners so quick here around Watkins Glen, Alex, whereabouts is the key overtaking spots going to be? Is it on the boot section, the second half of the lap, or are there some other overtaking spots like turn 1 and up the hill?
Yeah, certainly. We're still going to get an opportunity for a move going into the bus stop. The favoured place is the carousel, but with the bus stop there, it's that's going to come into play. But it's still definitely possible to get a run done in there. The other places are usually sort of the hill of the boot section. Is another good place. So people tend to make a mistake going into the toe or something like that, and that usually opens it up for a pass.
See what the drivers are going to face in qualifying then, because the 2-lap shootout is over. We're heading down to the grid, and we'll be getting set for the race today. 45-minute race, we should just add, and we will be seeing pit stops during the race as well. And let's run you through the starting grid then. Dennis Duna, or Dennis Downer, starts on pole position. I might just go Duna. Marco Acciacono starts second. Gianni Vecchio starting in third, with Dustin Hickman in fourth. Robert Harris fifth. Cedric Finsack, big name there, starting in sixth. In seventh, Matteo Chauvier starting in eighth, and Michael Thomas in ninth. Alexander Manes leading the way in the German GT3s. Zach Thomas starting second, with Alex Saunders in third. Paul Ulbrink fourth. Luigi Nespolino in fifth. Johannes Schafranca in sixth. Alessandro Dalladone seventh. Juha-Pekka Lamy in eighth. Leonardi in ninth, and Christoph Kern in 10th. 11th, Jorge Blascavals in 11th, and Kilmany Almeida rounding out the German GT3s. And in the rough C-Specs, Daniel Buck on pole position there. Antti Salminen in second. Joni Brandon starting in third, Jürgen Frank fourth, Lampros Vanidis in fifth place, Kevin Zeiter in sixth, David Barakloff in seventh, Alex Barroso in eighth, Michael Evdoka in ninth, and rounding out the field today, it is Jasper Agronoveg in his rough C-Spec.
Yeah, well done there, mate. There's a couple of people, obviously, just showing on the timing screen. They haven't set a time, so they'll be coming through from the back. Although I think they're going to be still mixed in, aren't they, with their grid order? So let's see.
Yeah, Nick Thiessen and Kilmany Almeida. Yeah, they'll be starting at the back. They haven't set times in the session today. Full pace lap as well, so the drivers will have the opportunity to warm up their tyres. And relatively warm day in New York today, Alex. 27 degrees with a 39-degree track temperature. We don't often see the drivers taking taking tyres, I should say, in these 45-minute races.
Yeah, I don't think we will. Again, just be a splash and dash for fuel for everybody, and away we go. But yeah, partly cloudy, just a little bit of wind cover there. So very close to sort of default conditions out there. So car should handle pretty well. Won't be affected too much by the weather. Good turnout for the Radicals Online crew. As we see 1, 2, 3 just go through our screen. Decided to jump in the BMW this week.
Interesting choice. We saw no BMWs at Daytona, the Daytona road course last week, Alex. Seems to be the favoured car of choice, well, for at least the Radicals guys anyway, around this track.
Yeah, it's a weird one because normally you think of Watkins Glen all about the speed.
Yeah.
But of course, once you put this bus stop in, actually it does take away quite a chunk of that. So the BMWs aren't so out of their depth kind of thing. And the thing that the BMW has is it's very quick through sort of medium high speed corners because of the amount of downforce that it can carry or that it carries on it. So Watkins really does sort of play into its strength, especially the sort of like the boot layout. Now, of course, it's still very difficult for them to overtake people because they do suffer from that sort of lack of straight line speed. So while the guys are sitting on the front row looking quite pretty at the moment, if they have a bad start or something happens, fuel or something like that, then that really could make their job very, very difficult to get back to the lead. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Strategies could come into play. But yeah, and looking at the C-Spec class as well, so good turnout from the field. We're missing some of our regulars, I think, though, Adam, that we usually see. Yeah,
we usually see some of the names that we haven't got on there, like Marcel Fassbender. That's usually there. And Leonardo Corti, yeah, that's the name that was passing me by. Yeah, he's usually in the rough C-Specs, not so today. 10 Daytona prototypes, 12 German GT3s, 10 rough C-Specs that will be taking part here in IMSA today. The rough safety car leading them around, just heading through the boot section that Alex was talking about just then. That right-hander, that uphill right-hander, that's probably definitely going to be one of the key spots, especially for the BMWs with, as you were saying, the amount of grip that it provides. It'll help them get up the hill nicely.
Yeah, definitely. Just looking at championship stand-ins in the rough C-Spec, Corti does lead the way from Fassbender, then it's Daniel Buck and Antti Thunman there as well in fourth. So take a quick look at the C7s. Who's got that? Dustin Hickman, obviously provisional pole for him. Sorry, although it's not showing quite right on my screen, so that might be wrong. Jake Robson, Gianni Marco, and Syandra, sort of through to fifth. Who else have we got? German GT3s. Who's leading the way at the moment? Paul Ilbrink. We haven't seen Paul in the strength of field, so it'd be good to see him in there. Dalladoni in third, and then Roberto in fifth. So, yep, here we go then, guys.
Safety car coming into the pits, and the green flag is on, and IMSA is underway at Watkins Glen, and they're already fanning out as we head down the front straight. Don't want any quarter panels at this stage in the race, and some cars are already starting to flash their lights in frustration as we head into the first corner. And it is Dennis Duna that leads the way, second Gianni Vecchio, and now we head through the S's. Now let's see what the German GT3s are like with their starts, and it is Radicals leading the way with Alexander Mane leading their way, leading the cars up the S's, followed by Zach Thomas and Alex Saunders in third position there. And in the rough C-Specs it is Daniel Buck leading that category going into the first corner on lap one of the race there. Change for position in the Daytona prototypes already. Giovanni Vecchio up into second place, getting past Marco Arcidiacono. Rob Harris already up a position as well, getting past Dustin Hickman. And Hickman already trying to get back past Harris going into the boot section for the first time. And a clean start by everyone, Alex.
Yep, that's what we'd like to see. It's you need a good start here at Watkins just because of the Armco channels everyone back into the track if there's an accident. So first lap crashes are usually really disastrous. So fortunately it was all good, and yeah, we've got a full grid. Although we are looking at Alex Brescio stationary at the moment, so I don't know what's happened to him.
Dustin Hickman just getting past Rob Harris going into the final section of the boot, so that is Harris up a place again. But yeah, problems in the early going there for one of those drivers, Alex Barristo, and his rough C-spec he's got going again, but he's right at the back, far away from the rest of his rough C-spec category as Dennis Dooner now comes around the final corner. First lap in the books for the Daytona prototypes, of course. If you've been watching the Daytona 24 hours over the past few days, you will have seen plenty of these cars. Of course, it is a officially sanctioned IMSA race, the Daytona 24 hours in real life. And these are the cars that would have been contesting it. And that runoff area for the first corner, Alex, seems to be the preferred racing line for some of these drivers, well, at least at the end of the first lap anyway.
Yeah, most will be taking it, certainly in the high downforce cars, because you can really lean on that. And the GT3s won't go quite as wide because they just won't get the full benefit of that. So, but yeah, certainly the high downforce cars are going to absolutely abuse that. Certainly, like in the McLaren and the old Williams FW31, we used to scream almost out to the wall. We used to take that much speed in there. It was ridiculous.
End of the first lap then, Dennis Dooner leading the way in the Daytona prototypes by 9/10 of a second. Gianni Vecchio in second place. Marco Arcidiacono in third position. The Daytona prototypes are starting to spread out just a little bit now. Fourth, Dustin Hickman. Fifth, Rob Harris. Sixth is Christian Bugg with Cedric Finsack in seventh place. Michael Thomas in eighth. Mathieu Chauvier in ninth. And Nick Thiessen rounding out the top 10 there. Battle in the German GT3s, Kilmany Almeida and Alessandro Dalladone. Dalladone trying to get some positions here up the inside. In fact, that's Almeida up the inside there, going through the right-hander that heads up the hill on the boot section, and these two are going side by side, Alex, down towards the right-hander at the end. Yeah,
drag race up the hill, but not quite the best of exits there, so has to just sort of settle in behind. But yeah, long race. The pack is still pretty tightly bunched, so it's the important thing. Pakalami actually just losing a little bit of ground from Luigi ahead of him right now, so is to get a move on that Grip TV car as he's starting to form up a little train behind him.
Quite remarkable to be seeing the BMWs pulling away from these Audis at the end of the second lap. You can see Nespolino back to Juha Pekalami. Yeah, he's already losing a bit of ground, and the gap between Nespolino and Pekalami is about 2.1 seconds after the second lap. So yeah, as Alex was saying, he probably needs to get his head down and try and close in. Even with the bus stop chicane, Alex, does the slipstream, is it really that effective in these cars down this back straight?
Yeah, it definitely is. I think definitely going to open up some opportunities. You still need the driver to make a little mistake ahead of you to get that perfect run. And certainly in the GT3s, I'm not sure about some of the others, they might have enough on it, but based on what we saw from Daytona, you're still not getting great runs out of like the C7, so I think they're still looking for a little mistake from the driver ahead. Not much, you know, a tenth or two, something like that, and then for you to nail your sector through turn one, and that really opens up the opportunity for a move.
Christoph Kern versus Pierre Leonardi here in the German GT3s. This is over... where is this actually? Leonardi. Pierre Leonardi is in 9th place in the German GT3s. Christoph Kern in 8th. Audi versus BMW fight here. Now we'll see the run that the BMW can get on the exit of this uphill right-hander over the crest, and then we plunge back down the hill again as we head towards the end of lap 3 here in the German GT3s. Christoph Kern taking a very tight line on entry. Don't know if it'll spoil his exit, but yep, Audi versus BMW, and for once, Alex, it looks like the BMW might just have the upper hand here in the early stages.
Yeah, I think always what's good with the Audi, it always comes off the corners really, really well, so the BM really is going to struggle to still get by, but yeah, give it a few laps, let's get the tyres into the right zone, and then maybe we can we'll see a move come off. But yeah, good little battle. Zach Thomas starting to break away from Alex Saunders now, so Saunders just dropping back in his in Mercedes, so he's got Paul Ilbrink for a bit of company. Ilbrink just having to pop in before the off track that you get from the grass there, so pushing hard at the moment. Ilbrink trying to gain a position and see if he can get a 1-2-3 for that Radicals Online team.
Yeah, he'll be eager to join his teammates. They're all in the same positions from where they started, of course, so Paul Ilbrink hasn't lost anything so far in this race, but he'll be eager to gain a position and getting in amongst the 1, 2, 3, or getting amongst the 1, 2 at the moment, which is being held by Radicals Online. Paul Ilbrink, a pro driver, of course, racing in the Blancpain GT series. Christoph Kern's dropping down the order. Alex, I don't know what's happened to him. We were focusing him on a lap ago. He's off in the bus stop chicane. Was this of his own doing, or was there a little bit of help? Let's see. Going into the bus stop. Gets offline a little bit, and the car just turns around in good avoidance there on the BMW of Pierre Leonardi. He's able to carry on without too much damage for either of them.
Yeah, it's just on screen now. I think it's going to be the worst angle for it. Oh yeah, just under pressure, wasn't he? And just lost it. But you're right, it just sort of slid nicely out of the way, so that he didn't collect anybody else.
Leonardi's now under pressure from Alessandro Dalladone going into the right-hander, and there's a Merc in there as well for good measure. Kilmany Almeida as Dalladone nearly loses the car on exit. Head back up towards the NASCAR Cup Series layout, of course, and back onto the full circuit. And
looking at the Daytona prototypes, Christian Bugg at the moment got a good run here on Robert Harris going onto the straight. Got that slipstream, tucks to the inside. He's going to have the inside for the bus stop. Is Bug going to try and hold it around the outside? No, he doesn't. So, sorry, Harris doesn't. So, yeah, Bug up to fifth.
Yeah, again, 2 positions so far for Christian Bug. Car 29 is Daytona prototype. He's now on the move. Nick Thiessen's just getting past Matteo Chauvier there in that Daytona prototype battle. He's up to 9th place. Didn't set a time in qualifying. And Chauvier now down to 10th place in the Daytona prototypes.
Also, everyone knows Nick well. Nick does an awful lot of work for the iRacing community with all the different bits of software and things like that he develops, and the setup shops and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, worth giving Nick a bit of a shout out. So, and don't think anyone want to see him finishing in 9th place. So come on, Nick, let's get you in that top 5.
Yeah, Nick Thiessen has got a bit of ground to make up to get to the next battle, which is these 4 cars of Bug, Harris, Finstack and Thomas. Thiessen 2.4 seconds behind them after 5 laps of racing, so they can now try and get his head down after not setting that lap in qualifying. I have to say, lap times are very close in the Daytona prototypes. The top 4 are lapping in the 140s, but everyone after that lapping in the low 1 minute 41, so it's going to be hard for these cars to gain any ground around this circuit.
Leader pulling away at the moment, Dennis stretching his legs. Hickman obviously thinking of his championship already, trying to close in on Marco ahead of him right now. So let's just see if that battle can come up. Ooh. What's going on between Harris and Bug? And they were side by side. Nothing happened at all.
Yeah. Harris wants the place back though. He did get alongside on the exit of the S's, but yeah, wasn't able to get past Christian Bug. However, Bug goes out wide through the
spinner in the background. Yep.
Michael Thomas, and he's hit the Armco barrier on the inside, so he'll have picked up some damage to the front of his car. We'll see if it's a trip to the pits, but yeah, he was on the wrong line, Alex, and looks like the car just went around
as well and hit the grass on the way through. So spinning, hits the Armco again. Think that is going to be his race done. It is. There he goes.
First casualty of the day.
What's going on over in the C-Spec class at the moment? Closest battle on track is for 4th position. Well, 3rd and 4th, sorry. Brandon and Frank having a good battle. Only Brandon and Jürgen Frank. But just 0.2 of a second separated them. Good run, I think, coming out of turn 1 up the S's. Surely an opportunity for a pass this time.
See what can happen. See if Jürgen Frank's able to pick up the slipstream. UK versus Diach here as we head down the back straight. See what these rough C-Specs can reach in terms of top speed. 256 kilometers per hour for Jürgen Frank going into the bus stop chicane.
I don't know if Frank had a little lift there because he was miles up on speed coming into the S's. Definitely was going to get a run, but by the end of the straight was sort of slower of the 2 cars. So I don't know if he had a little lift, thought better of it this time, or just whether or not we've got some different downforce trims out there. And yeah, and the only Brandon there is a little bit quicker in a straight line, but it looks like he's suffering through the corners, having to go defensive here through the toe. That tight line's not going to help his exit. It's going to be great for Frank, who does get a really good line. Maybe an opportunity just to dive up the inside. It gets covered off right now. Around the outside, thinks about it, but yeah, not really fully committed to that. So
Jürgen Frank trying his best. Car 1, you can see on his rough sea spec, that means he has the highest I rating in the field today, and he'll be eager to show his skills here going into the penultimate corner, right on the back of that rough sea spec of Johnny Brandon here. Now into the final corner, this 90-degree right hand, and we're back onto the front straight again to start lap 7. Oh, it's surely just a matter of time now. He's got a good run on the exit. He's going to pick up the slipstream as well as we come across the line to start lap 7. And he's flashing the lights as well. Up the inside goes Jürgen Frank on Johnny Brandon. But Brandon will get the cut back on the exit. We'll see if he's able to do anything with it. Jürgen Frank's just ahead. And that is a well-executed move that started almost a lap ago. And Jürgen Frank now into 3rd position, Alex.
yeah, good move. I would think, he's got an opportunity to get by, but didn't quite nail the S's up there. He's going to get the run now, but I think he's going to be just a little too far back. Has a little look. More spotting his braking point than anything there as well. Very difficult to see the trackside markers on the left when you're that close behind. So just giving himself a bit of a judge.
As you can see, the Daytona prototypes are now starting to lap these cars, which is going to prove a bit of an issue. Watkins Glen isn't the widest track in the world, of course, and the Daytona prototypes having to take the outside line as they're starting to lap these rough sea spec drivers. Mark Diacono getting his work cut out on Kevin Zeiter there.
Yeah, I was just on board we're on board right now with Dustin Hickman as well. So Hickman was very, very close to Vischer there as well, but can't quite get a move done. And now gets a C-spec in between him and just has to jink to the right to avoid contact. Oh, Ilbrink 1/100th of a second behind Alex Saunders as they go into the bus stop. Still not close enough to get that move done. Tucked up behind Luigi Nespoloni. Waiting to see what's going to happen between these two.
Going to be very frustrating now for Paul Ilbrink. Looking this way, and that's going into the boot section here. German GT3 on lap 8. Last time around, Saunders did a 1:46.5, 46.4 for Paul Ilbrink. What are his teammates doing? Thomas and Mane last time around were doing 46.2s and 46.0s, so they're starting to edge away a bit now from these two.
Yeah, I definitely get the feeling Paul's being held up 2 or 3 tenths of a second a lap at the moment. It's not massive, but it's enough. And this is what we were talking about. The BMW is just so difficult to overtake in this car. Usually you have to do something with strategy. You just need that pace and performance. So if you qualify and you put it on the front row, it's brilliant. I know, but if you're in the pack, it's very, very difficult, and you're almost vulnerable for some of the quicker cars getting runs on you as well, because you can't use your extra advantage of being quick in the corners. Oh, close to the wall there for Saunders.
Crash, and it is our first victim of traffic of the day, and it's Rob Harris. We are focusing on his battle early on. It's with a rough C spec.
Oh, jeez,
24.
what was he trying to do there?
Excuse me, but bang, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna take another little look at that back. Go on board, see what he was thinking there, because
was there a gap? I don't think there was, to be fair. Let's have a look. Johnny Brandon really taking his line, which the lap car is supposed to do, really. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're on board. We're coming up and into the S's. You can see the cars ahead. So he's got massive overspeed. Yeah, stupid move. The C-spec was always going to go that way, you know. There was. Sorry, Rob. It's all on you, mate.
Name and shame time here on Apex Racing TV, and that's Rob Harris gone. He had been making ground through the field nicely, actually. But yeah, Rob Harris now down and out of the race, most likely as well. He's definitely going to spend a good time in the pits. This puts Christian Buck now up into 5th place, as the rough C-specs continue to get lapped here by the Daytona prototypes. Daniel Buck, the leader in that category, is just about to get lapped by Christian Buck, in fact. But yeah, clear example there of what happens when you don't time your lapping of the traffic well. There is Christian Buck showing you how it's done. with Cedric Finsack also getting by as well. Of course, the laps cars supposed to take the racing line, and it's the faster traffic that's supposed to go to the outside or go to the inside to try and get by.
I have to say the C-Spec race today, pretty disappointing. I was hoping for a bit of an epic one, but separated apart. I mean, the front three are separated by 10 seconds already now, so bang in the middle of each other as well. So yeah, a bit disappointed. Closest battle we've got for that is 7th, well, for 6th and 7th in class on screen at the moment. So Jasper moving forward after not setting a time as well. But yeah, a bit of a shame. Normally we have a great one, or maybe a change for the lead in the GT3s though. Zach Thomas very close to his teammate, and I'm sure there's no team orders in there, but that was just a case of he's my teammate, I won't hit him, I won't risk anything. But I tell you what, had they been on different teams, he'd have stuck his nose in there for sure.
Oh, Pierre Leonardi and Alessandro Dalladone side by side into the bus stop chicane. That's a change for position there. That is Dalladone through, Leonardi down a place, but we'll just see the cars that we've got in the pits as well. We've got Michael Thomas in the pits, David Barraclough has just exited the pits, Johnny Brandon's been in the pit lane as well. Probably that was probably the car that got caught up in the incident with Rob Harris. And speaking of Rob Harris, he's the other car that's currently in the pits as well. Is it difficult to follow cars in any of the classes, the Daytona prototypes, the German GT3s, or the rough C-Specs, Alex? Or can you run relatively close to each other in these cars?
No, I think you can run relatively close with each other. You know, you just need to be aware of the overspeeds and what the cars are doing. I think certainly with the C-Spec going up through those S's, they'll be flat out, and they are on the edge going through those S's, so they don't really have much choice where the car goes unless they get out of it. So, you know, the C-Spec's got so much downforce, they can put the car wherever they want. So it's just, you know, it's up to the drivers in the quicker cars really to make sure they don't make contact in that sort of situation. So, you know, if you need to have a little lift, then you've got to have a little lift.
Bug v Thiessen. And Thiessen's going to try and go around the outside here. That looks like a brilliantly executed move there from Nick Thiessen, and it is. So he's already up to 6th now, a gain of 4 positions. And yeah, brilliant move around the outside of Christian Bug. And he's up into 6th place, Alex.
Take a little look at that back on replay. Straightforward. Yeah, no traffic involved in that. So just around the outside of the toe. Carried all the extra speed. Love the camber on the toe section there. It really opens that up for you to do that multiple lines through that corner, and yeah, awesome from Nick.
He might have got a bit overexcited because he's just gone and quickly lost the place again.
Well, we saw that just as you said that he did that as well, so he must have known we were talking about him.
And that is him back down to 7th, but he's not too far away from Christian Bug, and yeah, we'll see if he's able to get him again on the next lap, losing just a bit of ground to him actually in that final sector. Checking on the German GT3s again. Some close battles going on here. We've got Jorge Blasvals versus Alex versus Kilmany Almeida. Mercedes versus Audi as well. This is over 10th and 11th. The Audi getting relatively close there, going under braking into the heel. I was struggling really, unless the car in front makes a mistake, Alex, to get by here, and I think it's going to be the story of the race just because of how quick these corners are around this circuit.
Yeah, I mean, like I really said, there's only really a couple of overtaking opportunities unless there's mistakes. But yeah, I think you can get nice and close coming out of turn 1. That's really your only chance to do it as a driver, up and through the S's and get that run going into the chicane. Close this time, just 0.2 of a second back, nails this corner, and we should see, looks like he hooked the apex nicely, so we can already see the gap and the relative starting to come down through the S's. Is going to be under 0.2 by the time we reach the top of the hill, as long as it doesn't get too close so we can't pull out. Doesn't, so yeah, they're going to be side by side going into the chicane this time for sure.
Here he comes, then up the inside goes the Audi. He's going to, if he brakes late, he can force the Mercedes to commit to, and he turns in anyway, Kilmany Almeida. Obviously didn't hear the call from the spotter because Valls wasn't enough at the inside, and yeah, he's able to hold on to his position for now.
Yeah, really, as soon as he pulled out the slipstream, the car seemed to sort of slow down a little bit there. Just all the forward momentum gone. So I'm guessing the Audi has got quite a bit of downforce on that at the moment, and the Merc is quite trimmed out.
Approaching the halfway mark in the race. We're running through the top 5 so far. Dennis Duna leading the way in the Daytona prototypes by 4 seconds now over Marco Archdiacono. Then it is 2 seconds back to Gianni Vecchio in 3rd. Half a second behind him is Dustin Hickman. Cedric Finsack in 5th. Then in the German GT3s, it's Alexander Manet leading the way. 0.2 of a second ahead of Zach Thomas, with Alex Saunders still holding back Paul Ilbrink in 4th. And Luigi Naspolino 0.7 of a second behind him in 5th. And in the Rough Sea Specs, Daniel Buck leading the way 6 seconds ahead of Sal Minen as Blasco Vals gets by Almeida. Jürgen Frank in 3rd, Kevin Zeiter in 4th, and Lampros Vaxivanidis in 5th place there.
Maybe an opportunity for an overtake here, side by side for the leaders. Dak on his teammate. Is he going to let him go? Or I think there's enough room. Squeezes through, goes by on the outside. Mania there just giving enough room for his teammate. So good driving, and yeah, change for the lead.
Or will it be a repass up the inside? Yes, it is. Up the inside goes Alexander Manet. Back through he goes. Easy for us to tell the difference. The blue and pink rear wings, and they're at it again. Up into the right-hander.
Keep getting this really dodgy camera for the toe, so we're missing all the reaction.
And Zach Thomas goes back to the lead. Will this change as well? They're starting to lap the Rough Sea Specs up the inside. Now goes Alexander Manet. Back to the lead he goes. This Rough Sea Spec will surely settle this lead battle once and for all. Are they going to go either side of it? No, the Rough Sea Spec taking the inside line. Round the outside now goes Alexander Manet, car 4. Car 7 of Zach Thomas back up the inside. This is working brilliantly.
Boxed in eventually. That's what gets them the committed pass. So Thomas should be through and clear now, just for a few corners at least. Ilbrink still trying to get by. Maybe with this traffic he can get through in the background. Oh no, Paul jumps into the pit, so tired of waiting, realises he's going to have to do it on strategy, so in he comes.
Early strategy call there by Paul Ilbrink, and it's clear to see he's going to try and use his strategy to try and get past that Mercedes of Alex Saunders. Not too long before we'll start to see others come into the pits as well. As I was just saying, we've gone past the halfway point in the race, and yeah, the drivers will start to come in. Speaking of which, our race leader is in. Dennis Duna into the pits, Daytona prototype in. First of the leaders in as well, because Marco Archdiacono decides to stay out, and so does everyone else. 13.7 second stop for Paul Ilbrink as well. He gets on his way, and the pit lane time here is about 37 seconds.
Yeah, Paul Ilbrink stationary for 13.8 seconds, so we'll keep an eye on that with how Saunders does. If I'm Saunders, I jump in this lap. You know, you've got to do it, and just hope that the car on that outlap, Paul's just not that much quicker or anything like that, because you just got to feeling the car out, getting used to the extra fuel without the new tyres. So I just can't see any reason not to jump in. You've got to defend it. Definitely slower than Paul. The leads change again, the GT3, but those guys are just changing positions. They're flying for centre for fun now. So no, sorry, no more airtime for you guys.
Only if you take each other out. Cedric Finsack and Christian Bug, they were having a quick battle as they were lapping the German GT3s. Nick Thiessen has got by as well, past both of them. So Thiessen up to 4th place now, a gain of 6 positions. Definitely a man on the move here. Where's the next car for him after that, for Nick Thiessen? It is
Hickman, and he's 11 seconds up the road. So
okay,
yeah, that's going to take some racing to do. Let's have a look at the lap times last time by. Only a 1/10 of a second difference between them. I think it was a little bit faster, but it definitely looks like these guys are all starting to deal with traffic now, or the pace constantly about a second or so slower. Just tucked up behind one of the Radicals cars at the moment for Nick.
Oh, poor Dustin Hickman, actually. It works out a treat for him. He's just got past Gianni Vecchio. Vecchio dives into the pits. He was stuck behind that German GT3 car, Kilmany Almeida. So we're starting to see the pit stops flowing in the German GT3s. Dalladone also in on this lap. Lespolino in as well. They will join Pearl Ilbrink as the cars have been in. And Alex Saunders, he obviously hasn't been listening to you, Alex, because he stayed out for another lap.
Yeah, I don't see. I think he's almost given up that position now, unfortunately, has Saunders. But I'm sure he will. He'll still be happy with what's going on his way. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't get jumped by the other BMW that was behind him. Who was behind him? I don't remember. It was Luigi, wasn't it? It was behind him as well in the. I think they call themselves Team GT or something like that, the Italian team. So wherever he is, there he is.
Yeah, he's in 9th place. Just made a pit stop, Luigi Nespolino, making an early pit stop as well.
15.3 second stop for him compared to Paul. That's like 1.5 seconds slower. So, and that's why he's really not on Paul's tail now. 3.3 seconds back to see Paul just going into the chute. And yeah, so he's got a lot of work to try and close that gap up. But excuse me, that's going to play into Alex's hand.
And obviously, yeah, Nespolino must have the same idea, trying to get past Alex Saunders as well. So we'll see where the Mercedes is at the end. Front two in.
Exactly
so Mane and Thomas.
Oh, they almost hit each other as well.
I think I saw that at Imola, sorry, when we were doing the IMSA series there. Actually, no, it was in the Road Pro series. In fact, the lead 4 are in, so Alex Saunders and Juha Pekkalami in as well. We'll see if Shafranka, Leonardi and Vald come in as well.
Oh, who missed the stop? That was Mania, I think, missed the stop there.
Yeah, it was. So slightly longer stop possibly for him. See who's the quickest. NASCAR style race off pit road hit. And everyone else is in as well. The top 7 have all pitted.
Keep an eye on Ilbrink as well. Oh well.
Race stop by Saunders, 14.1. He's going to leapfrog both the Radicals cars. Actually,
they've got to have penalties. So Ilbrink's going to come around behind Saunders as well.
Oh no, they're going to be
close side by side. Surely
well, there
Paul's
we go.
Get the run.
We're going to have to eat our own words here because Alex Saunders is effectively now the new German GT3 leader. But here comes Paul Ilbrink. Here he comes down the back straight. Paul Ilbrink, he's going to pick up the speed. Of course, Alex Saunders, even though he has taken no tyres, the tyres will have definitely cooled off during the pit stop period. Now Paul Ilbrink's got a mission on his hands here because the undercut hasn't worked. And Alex Saunders in the Mercedes. Oh, here comes Paul Ilbrink. He's going to get the run on the exit and he's going to try and go around the outside. Saunders just gives him the space going into the chute. And he's going to have to run around the outside and it will quickly become the inside line as we head towards the toe, Alex.
Yeah, that's the performance of the BMW right there. Lean on the camber there, but Saunders hasn't got the line at all right. And he needs a great shooter out the corner, but Ilbrink finally up and through.
The Mercedes gets the superior straight line speed down the straight there, but yeah, Paul Ilbrink to the lead. Luigi Nespolino will be in 3rd place now, and where on earth are the Radicals cars? Mania is in 6th.
29.5, 29.2 pit stops, so both of them sped going into the pits, or one sped and knocked the other one to speed as well.
Oh no, that'd just be awful, yeah.
Who knows? Could have happened. They were close to hitting each other, so. But yeah, that puts them quite a bit down. I mean, we've got Christopher Kern ahead of them, who hasn't pitted. So they're effectively going to be in sort of 5th and 6th place. So yeah, not great for those guys.
Yeah, 6th and 7th place. Just the last car, Christoph Kern, coming into the pits, so that'll be a position for the 2 Radicals cars. Marco Diacono comes into the pits from 2nd place. He emerges in 4th. Dustin Hickman and Nick Teets in the last 2 cars to make a pit stop in the German GT3s, and we are still waiting for the majority of the rough C-specs to come in. Michael Evdoko has just come into the pits on this lap.
Yeah, Paul played the strategy game absolutely perfectly. He's got some quicker cars coming past him at the moment, just watching, and he's got Saunders tucked in behind. I think he's got enough pace to pull away from Saunders.
But it's not the end of the world then for Radicals Online, as Marco Diacono laps Paul Ilbrink. They might have lost the 2.
Paul had a little think about turning in there. Just had to leave the door open a little bit. Was going to be vulnerable.
Yeah, of course. Paul Ilbrink now leading for Radicals. The other 2 will have lost out majorly due to that pit stop problem. How far away are Mania and Thomas from the next German GT3 car? That is the question.
3.6 seconds there behind Juha Pekkalami right now. So, yeah, Army having a good race out there. He's 4 seconds behind Luigi, so kind of in the middle of no man's land at the moment. So he just needs to do his thing, I think. What we've got, just 14.5 minutes of this race to go. So, Last laps, we can't tell because it's pits involved. But just to be in that sort of contention, I would say he's probably going to be a couple of tenths of a second slower. So these guys might get to him at the end of the race, but we'll have to see. Getting there is one thing, overtaking, as Murray Walker said so famously in the past, is another.
Dustin Hickman, a very quick stop, 9.4 seconds for him. Obviously, don't have to take as much fuel because he's pitting later than everyone else. He emerges quite a distance ahead of Gianni Vecchio, who he was having a battle with before the pit stops got underway. And Nick Thiessen, he is just about to come out of the pits as well, and he is in 5th place, which is, I think, where he was before he came into the pits, actually. Whereabouts is, how far is Vecchio up the road? Quite a bit, actually, so I think that is Nick Thiessen's position signed, sealed and delivered, as he now laps the 2 Radicals online cars going into the chicane.
Oh!
Thomas and Mane, very close. Oh, going for the bus stop chicane there.
Now, when you're a team manager and you see that, you cringe.
Of course,
trust me, I know all about that after yesterday's Pro Series race.
yeah.
That was that's the worst feeling in the world, watching a Pro Series championship disappear when 2 cars come together.
Especially when it was a battle for the lead in the race as well. Time to look at the Rossi spec pit stops then. They're starting to begin now. Daniel Buck into the pits. He had a relatively comfortable lead over Antti Salmon and a good 11 seconds. So he's got nothing really to worry about as long as he doesn't speed in the pit lane. Salmon and Frank, and if Zaita is in, yes, he is in as well. So relatively orderly pit stop base for the Rossi specs.
Yeah, they all just chose to come in at the same time. Random, but yeah, keep them separated apart. We've got, what, a couple of cars that just haven't pitted at the moment? Make that just the one, so...
Yeah. Alex Boris, so is he going to... He'll probably be in at the end of this lap. He's just heading towards the,
yeah, let's have a look.
the toe on the boot section. But only changes on the exit of the pits, though. Antti Salmon just emerging now. Jürgen Frank in 3rd. Kevin Zaita 4th.
No, nothing. They're all still miles apart. So sorry, guys, you're not getting much coverage this week. We need better races. Just yeah, just think back to that Imola race. You guys got most of the attention. That's a fantastic race.
Definitely, yeah.
And
Boris,
yes, he is into the pits.
Yes. That is that all sorted. Pierre Leonardi and Almeida have just changed positions. I don't know how, because Almeida's very slow, so I don't know whether it might have been a mistake for the Mercedes, possible slow. Oh yeah, it was a mistake going into the first corner, just looking back on the replay. Going through the first corner. Oh, he loses it on the curb on the exit. Mercedes getting unstable there, and yeah, that's what lost him that place to Pierre Leonardi, so yeah, down a place there.
I was getting a bit closer at the front of the race here as well, Adam. 1.4 seconds separates our 2 leaders right now. Are we 2 leaders? First and second in C7s. I don't know what I'm saying there.
So Dennis Duna only has a 1.3 second lead, and yeah, last time around Marco Arcidiacono was a good 4 tenths of a second quicker. We'll see what the lap times are like this time as they come across the line. 40.9 and a 41.0 for Marco Arcidiacono, so slightly so on that lap. Fastest lap of the race is currently being held by our leader, Dennis Duna, so he's going to be enjoying matters at the front. Hopefully all these guys have enough fuel to get to the end, in particular the cars of Arcidiacono and Dustin Hickman. Of course, they had the quickest pit stop times.
Hickman 8.8. I mean, it's so much shorter than everybody else. So 3 seconds, you know. So he's going to be on the limit, I would think. But we'll see. And it wouldn't be the first time we've seen guys run out of fuel coming onto the final lap, or halfway around.
Their nightmare is crossing the line with about 5 seconds left on the clock, because then you've got to really do a whole extra lap. As sorry to say, Alex, but the Radicals cars are changing positions again. Zach Thomas and Mania. Now it's Zach Thomas in front as they head down the back straight towards the bus stop chicane again. And these guys, after the pit stops have cycled through, are now in 5th and 6th place, and Pekka Lamy is just a bit away up the road.
Well, they're spending a lot of time overtaking each other, and they're not getting any faster through doing it. They actually cost themselves a bit of time because they're not really catching up on Pekka Lamy right now. So we looked at him a while ago, and he had a sort of about a 3 or so second lead, and he still got that 3-second lead. So just keep on doing what you're doing, mate, and that's for 4th place, which would be a good result. I know he's got a lot of fans out there.
Coming Almeida's back after that momentary lapse in concentration in the first corner. He's now right on the rear of Pierre Leonardi again. So, yeah, might fancy his chances here, going through the second sector here, the second half of the lap. Gap at the front, actually, in the Daytona Pro Stops has got under a second now. So, we might have to switch to that in a moment. 0.8 of a second is getting even closer. So, Dennis Duna hasn't got it all his own way here. In fact, yeah, I think we might actually have to go because, yeah, going into the bus stop chicane, coming up to lap Alex Barroso, the last car to make a pit stop in the Rossi spec category, and nearly collides with our race leader, switching lines, and Dennis Duna really caught out now because the gap between him and Archie Diacono under half a second, Alex.
Yeah, this is what we wanted to see, some action. And it just goes to show anything can change at any time with the multi-class races. That's the beauty of them as well. You think you're clear and you're safe and comfortable, and all of a sudden you just get one little hiccup and it costs you a second, and you're under a lot of pressure all of a sudden.
And yeah, 0.3 of a second now between Duna and Archdiacono. We've seen Marco in plenty of races here in the IMSA series on Apex Racing TV, and always seems to provide action as well. Whether that's him spinning off at Le Mans multiple times or cases like this, racing for the lead at Watkins Glen. So always one to watch here, and he's definitely got Dennis Duna right where he wants to be in the final 7.5 minutes of racing here in the IMSA series at Watkins Glen. And we'll see what the lap times are like on this occasion. I think Dennis Duna's lap time is going to be pretty slow after having to deal with that lap traffic. Fortunately for these guys, the next car up the road is Michael Evdoka, who's just gone through the S's, so they won't have to worry about that. By the time we get to the final lap, they could be right with the traffic, and there is quite a bit of it after him. So Archdiacono taking a very wide line.
Oh, and has to jump back on as well. It's almost worth, when you're that far out wide, just running over the grass, actually, because it's a bit flatter there and it doesn't cost you any time whatsoever. So that cost him a couple of tenths of a second just straight there, just having to dive back on, and no chance of some slipstream this lap. Give us a quick rundown in what's going on in the other classes at the moment, Adam, because battles have really died down in those. Nothing really going on. Obviously, the Radical boys exchanging positions every lap, but apart from that, it's pretty dead out there.
Yeah, we're only through the top 5 again in the closing stages. Duna, Archdiacono, Hickman, Vecchio, and Nick Thiessen. Yeah, pretty much settled apart from the lead battle at the moment. Paul Ilbrink leading the way there. Alex Saunders is 2.9 seconds behind, and Nespolino a further 1.5 seconds back in third. Juha Pekalami in fourth, and 2 seconds behind him, Zach Thomas and Mane, who are still at it in the German GT3s. And in the Rough Sea Specs, Book 11 seconds clear of Salmonen, who's 4 seconds clear of Frank. And he is 7 seconds ahead of Zaita in fourth, and 9 seconds clear of Vaxevanidis in 5th place.
Yeah, big shout out and thank everybody that is watching the broadcast. As always, pleasure to have you with us on Sunday afternoon. 5.5 minutes or so of this race left, and we have got a little battle on our hand. For Cedric Finsack is stationary out there. What's going on with him? He's around.
It's an easy corner to lose the car on. He was just chasing Paul Ilbrink, the German GT3 leader, but loses it there. And Chauvier, I think, is the car that's got by. In fact, I don't think he's lost any positions. In fact, yeah, Chauvier might have just got by Cedric Finsack. Yeah, he has. So Matteo up into 7th place. Finsack now down to 8th position, 2 positions lower than where he started.
Just went a bit crazy on the loud pedal, and yeah, around he come, and then just had to be patient and wait for the traffic to filter through, as it's just never ending by the looks of it out there.
Continue our tour of North America here in the IMSA series. Next week we'll be heading to Lime Rock Park, Alex.
Oh, nice and short. I mean, that'd be interesting to see how that plays out with these big prototype cars. So overtaking going to be very, very tricky. Thomas is just 0.8 of a second behind Juha Pekalami now. So battle for 4th in the German GT3 category has heated up somewhat. Yeah,
last time around Juha Pekalami 148.1. I wonder if he had to take avoiding action in that Cedric Finsack incident, because he's lost some ground somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've got
And
everybody watching as well. Just thank everybody for watching again, but just don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to follow us on Apex Racing TV on Twitter and Facebook. Both addresses are just Apex Racing TV.
they've got lap traffic, or they've got Chauvier here trying to lap them. This is not what the Radicals guys want either. Up the inside goes Matteo, and that's him through. Oh, he's going to get stuck here behind the BMW. Doesn't want to do what Finsack did a lap ago. Flashing the lights. And up the inside he goes. I don't think he's going to get up the inside of the Audi though. Oh, and he hits him. Oh dear.
Yeah, that was a bit rubbish, and that opened the door for... although he should be able to get it back here, Lamy. And does, up the inside.
Now it's Mania's turn around the outside. So Zach Thomas now trying to go around the outside into the penultimate corner. This is for 4th place in the German GT3s. Mania watching this battle with intrigue. He doesn't know who to follow. He's going to follow his teammate up the inside, and they both go past Juha Pekalami.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, really. I think he'd have held on to that if it wasn't for the C7 there. So, maybe a little darting move. Thinks about it.
Lapping Johnny Brandon there in the rough C spec. We can update you that the Daytona prototype lead is now stretched to 2.7 seconds. So Marco Diacono, unless there's a problem with fuel, I don't think he's going to take the win. But here comes Juha Pekalami again, so close to the Onco barrier. This is going to try and spoil the party here for Radicals Online. Going to go to the outside. The Audi is, of course, very quick in a straight line, which the BMW isn't, of course. Oh, turning across possibly as Alexander Mane there. And Juha Pekalami has to hold on for now.
You're a brave man to do that when it comes to internet racing, because when you're that close, it just takes one tiny little bit of netcode and you're in the wall. But as it was, no issues this time. Oh, Finsack sticking his nose in there. What is with these guys trying these late moves in the prototypes? You know, just be a bit patient. You know, you're not going to get through, and this is where you get the reputation of these dive bombs and stuff like that. No,
well, we talk all the time about the German GT3s in the rough C specs. We always say, oh, he got GT'd right there. And I think, to be fair to Pekalami, he's been DP'd in this race today.
Oh.
Same said for Rob Harris.
You just should not be saying that on air, Adam.
Oh, and it's happening again.
There he is. Okay. You're right, he got DP'd well and truly.
Well, that's the second Daytona prototype to do that now to Pekalami. What's a guy got to do when you're driving an Audi? Yeah, Finsack through. He's the last running car in the Daytona prototypes, actually. Only 3 cars out today. David Barraclough, I say out, he's in the pits for the second time. Rob Harris out early on after colliding with one of the rough C specs in the S's. And Michael Thomas out early on as well. He's been in the pits for a good 34 minutes now. But yeah, just under a minute to go. Where's our leader, Dennis Duna? I think he's probably have enough time to do one more lap. 4-second lead over Marco Diacono. And then it's Hickman third, Vecchio
Marco's
fourth.
pace dropped off massively. There's a fuel worry there. There's no way he drops off
143s.
Yeah, 3 seconds a lap if he's in he's safe on fuel.
Will he be able to make it? That is the question. Dennis Duna crosses the line with 35 seconds left on the clock. White flag will be out. This is the final lap of the race in the IMSA series at Watkins Glen. He's obviously not worried about fuel at all. Last time around, Diacono 42.0, a good 1.5 seconds slower than his personal best. But we're trying to get to the end. And Dustin Hickman across on 42.9 as well. They've dropped off from their 1 minute 40s that they were doing at the start of the race. But yeah, Dennis Duna, he lost the gap that he had just after the pit stops and was low as 0.4 of a second at one point. But yeah, kept his cool and has been able to pull it back up to 5 seconds on the final lap.
Yeah, it's all really come down to the fuel really there, looking at just the drop off. So, what's going on with Alex right now as well?
Mania, yes,
dropping down. So
it's not a disqualification, is it? I don't think it. Oh dear.
Keep an eye on where Dennis is, because if we need to switch back live, then we will. But I just want to see what's going on.
He had to avoid the spinning Cedric Finsack, but I don't know what happened to him after that.
It must have been just a tiny little contact and then away.
Oh,
A disconnect or something like that. Or maybe a penalty or something. Just one too many off tracks. But here he comes.
Dennis Duna then coming into the penultimate corner. And he has dominated proceedings here through the final corner. I think he's going to force Christoph Kern to do another lap. In fact, he'll get by before the line anyway. Out of the final corner, checkered flag in the air, and the IMSA series of Watkins Glen goes to Dennis Duna. He wins. Second for Marco Archdiacono. He comes across the line 4.5 seconds behind, and Dustin Hickman comes across the line to complete the podium. Oh, I think Vecchio's out of fuel, and he comes across the line just in time. In fact, no, that was Hickman that was coasting the line, yeah.
And he was 8.8 seconds on the stop, so I'm not surprised. Where is our German GT3 class leader, Paul Ilbrink? Here he comes, doing his 9th overall.
9th overall then. He's first in the German GT3s. Had a minor issue after the pit stops. He was stuck behind Alex Saunders before the pit stops occurred. Pitted early to try and get ahead. It didn't work, but he got the overtake done on track. And he hasn't looked back from there, really. Alex Saunders too far behind to get a move done. And Paul Elbrink could come up the final corner and take the checkered flag in the German GT3s. Alex Saunders will come through and take second place in his Mercedes, and Nespolino rounding out the podium.
Yeah, great drive from him. Where's Daniel Buck? Here he comes, about to join the Cup circuit once again. I'm guessing he's the only one that survived this lap as well. So one extra lap for Daniel. So dominant victory.
Zach Thomas finished 4th in the end, and would have been annoying for those guys, considering how him and Alexander Mania were really dominating the first half of the race for the pit stops. Daniel Buck comes through the final corner then. Here's Russ Seesbeck will take the checkered flag, and he will win the Russ Seesbeck category here at Watkins Glen. And I think the only car we've got left to cross the line is Cedric Finsack. He's just coming into the final corner now. Had a spin early on. Had a spin on the last lap, I should say. And that's what's put him down. He's getting almost lapped by the cars that have finished the race. You can see Vecchio and Hickman both trying to lap him as they are on their trip back to the pits. Oh, they're stuck behind Jürgen Frank, who's trying to get into the pits. And Finsack comes across the line and completes the finishes.
Well, pretty good race. I mean, we didn't see too many battles up front, but yeah, Ilbrink played the strategy game absolutely perfect. I said that he might have to do a little something on that one to get by Saunders, and then was gifted the lead as well. Well, that's not entirely true. He wasn't gifted the lead. He had to work for it to get by. But yeah, his two teammates, of course, speeding. And actually, we've got Paul available for a quick chat. So let's drag him in. Hi Paul, welcome to the booth. Thank you for popping in. Congratulations first off on the win. Just tell us about the start of your race there. It looked like you were boxed behind. You couldn't really get by Saunders, but yeah, an early pit call, but didn't quite get you in the front. And then yeah, just talk us through the rest of the race from there.
Yeah, the start was a bit like I expected, and after that I was a bit quicker, I felt, but if I would have gone for an overtake anywhere, I would have lost more time to the leaders, so I just stayed behind and trying to stay away from Nespolino, and that worked out pretty well. I did indeed stop like 2 laps earlier to try and undercut him. Didn't quite work, but when he came out of the pits, I don't know, I just had more grip, I guess, so I could already pass him in his out lap. And from there, thanks to my teammates, I guess, for handing me the win.
I guess they both got speeding penalties.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so 20 odd second stops. So now, what I want to really know is if whether you were in there talking to them, did one get the speeding penalty, or did one come in hot and knock into the other? Because I can't remember which one was behind, but it looked like the person who was the second come in a bit hot, and there was a little bit of contact, and I don't know if that caused them both to have speeding penalties.
Well, from what I could hear, the arguments were kind of heated, and I think it was Zach who came in a bit too fast or something and had trouble enabling his pit limiter or something. I haven't seen it myself yet, but I guess he tapped Alexander or something, or made Alexander speed up to not get hit. I'm not sure. But
something for you to deal with after the race then.
Well, not really. They can work it out between themselves. I'm just happy that I can extend my championship lead.
Yeah, congratulations on that as well. So halfway through the series right now, looking good. And we haven't seen you in too many of the strength of field races, so it's good to catch you in this one, and and a good win.
Yeah, when I'm available, I'll try to do it. Started a bit as fun, and now, since it's being a bit more competitive with my teammates, start to take it a bit more serious. It's a nice thing to do in the winter before F1 starts again.
And Adam, anything for Paul?
Lime Rock next week, Paul. Will the BMW still be good around that circuit? And it's a pretty narrow circuit as well.
I have no idea, really. GT3 is not really my thing, so I have no idea what car is good where. So I'll probably, if it's not like super bad, I'll probably drive it. So.
Yeah. Oh well, great, and well done on the German GT3 win today. And yeah, thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us.
All right, thanks for the broadcast.
Before you go, anyone want to shout out to?
Sponsors Steel Series, SO Sim Race, and Joe Real Timing, and the rest of the team, of course, for the support.
Cool. All right, mate. We'll catch you again, hopefully next week.
All right.
How did I forget that? Usually our parting question, isn't it?
You're okay.
Yeah.
I got it covered. Don't worry. So, yeah, sometimes the drivers will get it in there anyway, wouldn't they? Or need the little prompt. So, well, we'll do it. It's always good to get a shout out for the sponsors. Take us through the final standings, if you would, please, Adam.
Yeah, so Dennis Duna takes the win then, time of 46 minutes and 6 seconds. Marco Diacono finishing in second, third for Dustin Hickman, fourth Gianni Vecchio. Nick Thiessen finishing fifth place in the end after starting in 31st. Sixth, Christian Bugg, seventh Matteo Chauvier, and Cedric Finsack finishing in 8th place. Pearl Ulbrich taking the win then, we just spoke to him, the winner of the German GT3s. Alex Saunders finishing in second, third for Luigi Nespolino, fourth for Zach Thomas, fifth Juho Pekalami, sixth Johannes Schafranca, Jorge Blasco-Valls in seventh, eighth Alessandro Dalladone, Pierre Leonardi in ninth, Kilmany Almeida 10th, Christoph Kern in 11th, Daniel Buck winning the rough C-Spec category, and followed behind him 12th place in the German GT3s, Alexander Mania, 21st overall he was. Antti Salminen second in the rough C-Specs, with Jürgen Frank rounding out the rough podium. Kevin Zeiter fourth, Lampros Vaxavanidis in 5th place, 6th Jasper Groeneweg, 7th Michael Evdoka, 8th Alex Barroso, 9th Johnny Brandon, and 10th David Barrowcroft, 7 laps down. Rob Harris out early on, trying to lap a rough C-Spec in the S's, ends up hitting the Armco barrier and taking a bit of the rough as well. And Michael Thomas also out 22 laps down. Well, we've got, as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, this is the start of Super Sunday worth of racing on Apex Racing TV. Join us in about 2 hours, where we'll be getting set for the BSR Mazda MX-5 series. That is racing at Mount Panorama today at Bathurst. So me and Dave Christie have got our work cut out in covering the 3 races, possibly. I think it might be 3 or 4. I can't even remember. So join us for that.
Too many going on.
Too many going on. Yeah, that'll be at 8 o'clock. You should be able to join Alex Simpson, Andrew Woodhouse and Kev Noon for the latest instalment of the Club 73 Touring Car Championship. They'll be getting underway slightly later in the evening, about just after 8:30, I think. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. And that's at Okayama as well. So bit of Kia and a bit of Jetta multi-class action. So you love your multi-class racing? Yeah, jump in. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, touring car, just, they knock 6 bells out of each other, so it's great to watch.
But yeah, good evening's worth of racing planned on Apex Racing TV, but make sure you join us for that. And thanks to Alex Simpson, iRacing World Championship driver, for being alongside me here today in the IMSA series of Watkins Glen. Congratulations to our winners, Dennis Duna, Paul Ilbrink and Daniel Buck. And yeah, we will see you next week, 4:45 GMT at Lime Rock Park, where the IMSA series will be continuing. So from all of us here at Watkins Glen, very good afternoon to you all.